Call the order of the City Council meeting on March 12th of 2024 for North Liberty, Iowa. We have a roll call, please.
Leibold, Park,
Here.
Sittig,
Here.
Smith,
Here.
Wasted.
And here. Moving on to item number 3, approval of the agenda. I don't think there's any changes. So
I'll move. I'll second.
moved and seconded. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's approved. Moving on to item 4, consent agenda. Any questions before we go through that? All right, can I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second. Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries. Moving on down to item 5, public comment. Is there any public who wishes to speak today on any issues not on the agenda? Seeing zero public, we will move on to item 6, engineer report.
Thank you. Construction phase updates, streets and maintenance facility building. I know Michael Pentecost had in his report some photos. You saw kind of how they're digging up the floor. Those were all the new concrete footings are going for that structure, and most of those were poured last week. There's one left. Steel delivery has started arriving, which is kind of a big thing because you never know, so that's good. So that project's still on track. Penn Meadows North parking improvements, the contractor is back on site starting this week to finish up spring items. They're working on the trash enclosure at the park. Looks good. I was out there with Guy today to check on things. And then they've got some curb repairs, pavement markings, some landscape stuff they're doing this spring. Then we got a couple projects coming up for construction. So just real quick, Penn Street Railroad crossing improvements. We'll probably have a pre-construction meeting next month with them. That doesn't start until after school gets out. But just as a reminder, that will close Penn Street there at the railroad crossing. That'll be probably about 3 weeks once they get started to do that. There will be a detour to take people on North Dubuque Street and over to Ranshaw while that's closed. The first project we'll probably see started up that was bid this winter is West Penn Street. The pre-construction meeting is this month, and that will probably start early April. That's the project that's a joint project with the county out west of 380. And that's all I have, Mayor, for project updates.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for?
West Penn Street, is that's not going to close the entire road for any portion of time, is it?
West Penn Street will close, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be past our last city street down there.
Mm-hmm.
From there to the intersection, the county intersection, yeah.
Do you know how long?
West Penn Street, they have 75 working days, so that's probably going to be most of the summer.
Okay.
But that one's done.
Well, thank you. Anyone else? Moving on to the city administrator report.
Okay, thanks. A couple things from me. First, I think I've noted this already, but as a reminder, our goal setting session will be April 11th from 4 to 8, and that is with Karen Kurt and her ECI COG team. We had our management team session with the group last week, and it's a little different format than we were used to, but I think very productive, and it was really a good session. I enjoyed the setup, and I'm hoping that we'll have similar results when we get this group together as well. Again, April 11th. Attended Legislative Day last week with Greater IC in the Cedar Rapids area. We met with the Lieutenant Governor and then hosted a reception where various other legislators came and visited. I think there's not a lot going on in terms of bills that will directly impact North Liberty anyway. At the moment, that could change, of course. They seem to be, as you've probably read, focused on the AEA. I'm not sure if anything's happened there recently. And also other tax cuts, non-property tax cuts, the governor seems to be focusing on. So it was a good day or good evening to visit with Senator Walls, Representative Nielsen, and a few others, and hopefully we will see limited impacts before they adjourn in late April or May. And then lastly, Brian and I were chatting about this just a little bit before the meeting, but we made our switch over with the utility software. So that change happened Friday is when we went live. We had to shut down taking payments for a short while that transition happened. We're back up and running for the most part. We've had a few hiccups here and there, which wasn't necessarily out of the ordinary, and very fortunate to have capable IT folks on our end, on our team that could help when we were getting codes from New World to get implemented. So the new bills or the new looking bills will be out at the end of the month. It'll be the first time folks will see that, and Nick and his crew will be doing a promotional piece, marketing piece to make sure people are looking for something other than a postcard now from us. So I think it's safe to say that we're getting closer with the overall switch over of software. We still have a little work to go there, but we are making some headway. With that, Mayor Pro Tem, I would open it. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Thank you. Any questions for?
Right, I've got two. So on billing, I know everybody's question is, my banking software, does it roll over with no work from me? So if I have automatic payment or I pay through the bank, do I have to do anything extra?
The only thing I would suggest is checking your the account number. The city's account numbers changed formatting.
Okay.
So if you have an account number set up so that it routes to an account number at the city, it's a hyphen has maybe moved. Some
Okay.
numbers changed completely, but just checking that number.
So we do need to look that over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then Ryan, with legislative talk, was there any discussion on Forever Green East with Miller Meek's office? We've got funding earmarked.
Yeah, no. So what we're trying to do is once we get the functional design together and have a better idea of the overall project cost, we will re-engage with them because we're going to need some additional
Right.
assistance. But until that happens, and that's Shive Hattery is working on that right now.
Okay.
We want to go back to them with good numbers.
Thank you.
And talking about Forvis, how are we doing as far as costs go with them?
Good question. We've asked them for a biweekly update. We received one last week. They continue to make their way through. I think they're done with May now, or very close to it. And they are on track in terms of expenses. They gave us a not to exceed of, I think it was $35,000. And so they're within that goal to finish out through June.
And they're only working on the reconciliation. They didn't work on the utility changeover. or anything?
That's correct.
Okay.
Anyone else? Moving on to the mayor report section, we do have a proclamation. It is National Kidney Month. Whereas there are an estimated 37 million adults in the U.S. with kidney disease, and 1 in 3 adults in the U.S. are at risk. Most people are unaware that risk factors for kidney disease include diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, obesity, and a family history, with diabetes being a leading cause for kidney disease. And whereas people who are Black or African American or Hispanic or Latino are at increased risk for developing kidney disease. Therefore, it is critical that attention be brought to this often overlooked health crisis. And whereas the month of March is National Kidney Month, and March 14th is World Kidney Day, and whereas the National Kidney Foundation is calling on everyone to participate in raising awareness of kidney disease and the 1 in 3 adults in the U.S. who are at risk. Whereas the National Kidney Foundation is asking for your help in changing these numbers. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the North Liberty City Council proclaims March the National Kidney Month in North Liberty, Iowa. Kidneys are my second favorite organ, so
Oh,
after lungs. So,
okay.
and then
Do you have a top 5 then? Is that-
then one other little item we'll bring up. Congratulations to the Clear Creek Amana girls basketball team on their undefeated season this year. They were the Class 4A champion this year with a 26-0 record, and had to overcome some pretty tough teams, including the people they defeated in the finals, who were 25-1. So really outstanding. A lot of teams this year. So, and then we'll move right on to council reports, and I'll just say that I went to the Optimist breakfast and had a really good time and was very full. So, thank you for doing that. Appreciate all their fundraising.
Since I was out last time, I was at the Greater IC board meeting. Biggest thing out of there is very exciting. Herky on Parade is coming back, and you will see North Liberty participating, Solon participating, Tiffin, as well as Corville and Iowa City. So there will be over 120 Herkies throughout our communities, and there'll be some unveiling going on. Very secretive. Not even the board gets to see them. So we'll wait and see as they unveil overnight in the cloak of secrecy as they do and have in the past. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot harder to get your picture with all of them this time, but 120 some instead of 75. So, but excited about that.
I attended the Night of 1,000 Dinners last week. It was a nice event supporting some good causes. So appreciate the city supporting that event.
I'd say Ryan did a good job. I got to give him a shout out for coming to my office and spreading the good word about North Liberty. And any opportunity you get to do that, I know we appreciated it, and everyone does when you do get the opportunity to do that. And the Optimist Club breakfast also was awesome, and there was some wonderful Cub Scout service going on there, so they did a great job. So that was awesome. That's all I have.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, if I could say happy birthday to my fiance Emily. Thank you.
Happy birthday. Moving on to item 10, library board appointment. The mayor has recommended that Angela Folk be approved to fill the vacancy on the library board. And he's spoken to her, and she was very agreeable to that. I would just appreciate a motion for that.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Thank you much, and welcome to the library board. Moving on to item 11, the North Liberty Community Pantry Community Development Block Grant Application. Item A is a public hearing regarding the proposed Community Development Block Grant application. And we have someone who would like to speak to that.
Yes, I'm Tom Gross. I'm a planner at the East Central Iowa Council of Governments, and I'm working on the grant application for the city on behalf of the food pantry. So part of the application requirements includes this public hearing, and there's kind of two parts to that. There's some public participation items we have to check off show that we had at a public forum, which I'll go through. It's pretty rote. It'll only probably take me 4 minutes to get through, but just bear with me. And then after that, we're also required to do what IEDA, the funding agency, calls Community Development and Housing Needs Assessment, which I'll keep a little brief today since we don't have public to weigh in on. But I've included some ideas that I pulled out of your comp plan just to get started. And then if you've got other ideas, I'll use your thoughts as well to get that updated. So we've got that to include with the grant application. So with that, I'll begin with the topics that we have to cover. This application is for proposed purchase of fresh food for the North Liberty Community Pantry. through the Community Development Block Grant CV program. So it was some extra funding that was appropriated, I believe, from the CARES Act during the pandemic. And they've made a second round of funding for that available. So concerned with how the need for proposed activities, how the need was identified, it is noted that the number of households utilizing the pantry has increased 74% from 2021 to 2023, and that food, and especially fresh food, could be distributed more equitably, even currently. The pantry has increased the quantity of food delivered by 103% in the past 2 years. And the grant would support the purchase of approximately 450 pounds or 450,000 pounds of food, which would allow the pantry to increase its distribution by 76%. And then, as concerned with how the proposed activities will be funded and the source of funds, it's noted that with the proposed project costs presently estimated to total $100,000, with food purchases totaling $90,000 and $10,000 in grant administration costs, grant assistance is being requested from the CV program for the total cost of the project. So we're seeking to get the whole thing funded by the grant. As concerned with the date the application will be submitted, we will be submitting that to the Iowa Department of Economic Development by April 1st, 2024, but I think we'll actually be able to get in a little bit earlier than that. And then as concerned with the requested amount of federal funds, again, it's noted that $100,000 is being requested from the CDBG program. And then as concerned with the benefit from federal funding, it is noted that the population to benefit from the CDBG funding is clients of the pantry. Currently, that would be 2,942 people, with 2,885% or 98% being low to moderate income persons, or being from low to moderate income households, which by far meets the national objective of serving at least 51% LMI households. And then based on past growth, we're estimating that once the project's completed, it'll actually be about 3,486 people who would benefit, LMI persons who would benefit from the project. As concerned with where proposed activities will be conducted, it's noted that the fresh food purchase will be distributed through the North Liberty Community Pantry at 89 Jones Boulevard. And then it's concerned with plans to minimize the displacement of persons or businesses as a result of funded activities, and plans to assist persons actually displaced. It's noted that because there's no property acquisition proposed, there will be no displacement of persons or businesses as a result of the funded activities. And then as concerned with the nature of the proposed activities, it's noted that North Liberty's grant project will comprise of fresh food purchases on behalf of the North Liberty Community Pantry. So those are all the topics I have to cover. Any comments related to that?
How long will it take to find out?
I think they said they were going to try to get award notices out within about a month from when they, a month or maybe a little longer. So sometimes it takes a little bit longer than what they hope, though. So not always.
Oh.
So. All right. So if there's no other comments, I'll just go through the Community Development and Housing Needs Assessment. Again, I've already included some ideas just to have a document started already. If you have other things you want to add, just let me know. The Community Development Housing Needs Assessment covers 3 topics, so I'll work through those. The first one is the community development housing needs of LMI persons in the community. So I've got a few here. I started with food security at the top because that's related to the grant, and there's a clearly demonstrated need with the data that the food pantries collected on behalf of the households that are served by them. Some other items I pulled from the comp plan were more housing options, parks in all neighborhoods, and transit. I saw that there was a note about a North Liberty transportation assistance program. So would there be other items that you think should be included as the needs of LMI persons in the community?
I don't have any other.
From a transit standpoint?
No, from any
Just from
community development and housing.
I mean, in addition to the, we have the seats bus,
Mhm.
in addition to the LTAP.
Okay.
And at the moment, we're actually running some extra vehicles up here through a program, through a ARPA program through the county. So seats plus some additional coverage from there. Regular seats plus additional coverage, and I can elaborate more offline with you on that.
Okay. Yeah, and that's probably enough information for the purpose of the
All right.
grant application. So, and actually, I'll probably move that part down to the last section. The second section then is just other community development and housing needs, just generally for the community. So again, I repeated diverse housing options, safe multimodal transportation, Liberty Loop. I saw that called out a couple times in the plan. Neighborhood and community parks and recreational facilities, and infill redevelopment. So if there's other things that you'd like to highlight in the document that we're going to submit to IEDA, let me know. Okay. All right. And then the last item that we need to submit as part of the assessment is planned or potential activities to address housing and community needs. And I thought your plan did a good job of noting some things that are already in discussion. So again, I've got the Liberty Loop, Ranch Highway for Evergreen Road, and Dubuque Street improvements. Again, the North Liberty Transportation Assistance Program, Centennial Park enhancements, new park spaces and events, public art, code updates to allow more housing variety, fire station number 2, and utilities planning and construction. So would there be any projects you'd want to highlight?
I think the big one we can't miss is the ARPA funds that we approved through the Johnson County Housing Trust Fund.
Mm-hmm.
That needs to be in there.
Sure. $400,000 contribution, I guess you could call it, to the Johnson County Housing Trust Fund to leverage additional, hopefully additional federal money for housing projects.
Yep. Okay. Wonderful. All right. So those are the topics I need to cover. Any other comments generally?
Thank you for working on
Yeah,
all
good
that.
luck.
Yeah. No, I'm excited about the project and look forward to getting the application wrapped up and hopefully submitted, as early as we can, to get that in the queue. So thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I take it we did not have any other written, so we'll close the public hearing. Item B is resolution number 2024-29, resolution approving a grant application for community development block grant coronavirus, which is CDBG CV funds, to purchase fresh fruit and adopting the state of Iowa CDBG-CV, a duplication of benefits, policies, and procedures for the city of North Liberty. A motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any questions on that? All right. Roll call, please.
Park,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Sittig,
I abstain due to a conflict.
Wason.
Aye. So motion passes. Thank you very much for your work on that. So moving on to item 12, North Liberty Road Trail Project. Resolution number 2024-30, a resolution approving the services agreement between the City of North Liberty and Shive Hattery, Inc. for the North Liberty Road Trail Project. Give a motion for that.
So moved.
So moved and seconded. Any questions? I think we have another answer to.
Yeah, I would just note, if you don't mind, that this has been one that's been a long time in the making. We applied for funds a while ago, close to 5 or better years ago. But as with most federal money, we have to be patient. And so, as you can see, it'll pay for nearly half of this project. And we're looking forward to get going to it. There was a question on, accessing the dog park. That's a huge concern of ours. Guy Goldsmith was just in my office today talking about it. So was Russ was chewing on me as well. But we know it's going to be a difficult crossing there, and Shive has outlined in their proposal to look at several options for us to consider. We don't have those options available yet, but when we do, we'll bring it back in front of the group.
This will really be helpful completing that trail segment. So
And we're not even willing to spitball options aside from an underpass. I assume that's
That's what Russ is. That's what I meant by chewing on.
but we would have, if that was an option, we'd be able to think about that because that would impact other things later.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I mean that. Yes, I mean, I suspect there'll be costs varying on each option that we'll need some input on.
So, any other questions?
No, just really excited for that because I've had, when someone decides to jog down that road or ride a bike, it is sketchy at best. So the fact that that's happening is wonderful. And I look forward to hearing about all the different options and talking about that.
Thank you. Can I have a roll call, please?
Sittig,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
All right, motion passes 4-0. Moving to item 13, Water Tower Place. It's resolution number 2024-31, resolution releasing the surety for Water Tower Place subdivision in North Liberty, Iowa. Can I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? A roll call, please.
Smith,
Aye.
Sittig,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Wason.
Aye. Motion passes. Item 14 is the West Penn Street Project, Resolution 2024-32, a resolution approving permanent right-of-way easement agreement between Marcella Rame and the City of North Liberty. A motion for this?
So moved.
Been moved. A second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions?
How many more? This is it. Okay, that's what I was hoping.
Me too.
Appreciate all the homeowners and property owners there working with us. Roll call, please.
Wason,
Aye.
Sittig,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to item 15, speed zones. It's third consideration and adoption of ordinance number 2024-01, an ordinance amending Chapter 62 of the North Liberty Code of Ordinances to update speed violation citation criteria in the locations of special speed zones.
Move third consideration.
Been moved
Second.
and seconded. This is any other things?
How soon does the city have for new postings once this passes third? Before citations go into effect. So the new speed.
The ordinance
Areas.
goes into effect once it's published and a sign is posted. If there is a new sign to be posted, I believe there's only one
Excellent.
new changing of an existing speed limit.
Thank you. Tracy, roll call, please.
Sittig,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
All right, and that's the third and final consideration passes. Moving to item 16, old business. Any new business? Item 18, adjournment.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.